Hello, all you Wookiee warriors. How's it going? And today's Captain's Log, or Wookiee'S Log, stardate 300975.8. As the title will state, Yu Yu Hakusho. I just finished watching all of Yu Yu Hakusho's live action adaptation on Netflix. And boy, do I have a lot to say. So let's get into it. So, first off, I want to talk about the good I can say about the show. One, the characters all look pretty much like the animated characters, which I do appreciate. Because that is something very, 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 very hard to do. Especially when you're going into a live adaptation, it's so hard to make sure it's just right for the fans. I mean, try to imagine Harry Potter if they got the characters wrong. Um, and I'll probably be making Harry Potter references throughout this video because it's just pure awesome perfection on how they did the adaptation, in my opinion. Not Yu Yu Hakusho, Harry Potter. The only thing I found funny was actually Kurobara. Kurobara, if you guys you can see in the picture, it's the only one I could really decent one I could find online. As you see, Kurobara's hair is actually blonde and not orange or red. Um, I think it would have been better if they made his hair orange because it kind of looks like he bleaches it every day. um, but that's a small gripe. Um, so the only other thing was um, it had good parts to it. I guess I could put it that way. Like there were some parts that actually got me to laugh. There were some parts that felt very reminiscent of the show, the original anime. But that's really all I can say. That's good about the show. Let me see if I can get some more light over here for me. Okay. Um, let's talk about the bad. Yeah, that's really the only thing I really could find that I could say that were good about the show. Um, one, the first episode, like Yusuke, for instance, they got. I don't know why they keep on thinking all teens are just moody emo kids. I don't remember being that moody and emo when I was, in high school. And for another reasons, I don't know why they made it like the original anime never shied away from like blood, guts, violence, swearing, sometimes raunchy humor, but I never understand why they had to make Yusuke smoke. I did take issue with that because his mother, yes, his mother was a smoker and she partaked in alcohol, but Yusuke never did any of that. That was just not part of his character. He played the tough guy, but in deep down, he had, a good side to him. He's not a lot of people took the time to actually notice it. Um, I didn't like how they brought they it's like they took same thing I had issue I had with One Piece. They took it seemed like they took the best parts and they just like okay let's run them with it this way. And to me it was very lazy. That's the best thing I can come up with. The nicest thing I can come up with to say. For instance, like when you in the original TV show, like I don't understand why they couldn't just call it like the three artifacts. Why they couldn't call them that? Like the Forlorn Hope. It's called the Forlorn Hope for a reason, because in the show, and that's something they did get correct, is in the movie and the show, it does exact a price for granting one wish, your life. But the caveat to that is, and that not too many people well know, is that the Forlorn Hope will grant any wish if this if the if somebody's willing to sacrifice it. Like how Yu Yu was willing to sacrifice everything he had to save to save Kurabara. Not Kurabara. There's too many K's sometimes in the show though. Kurama. There we go. I knew I was gonna remember it. Kurama. But they didn't call it that. They didn't call it the Forlorn Hope. They called it the Mirror of Darkness. I'm like, to me, that's lazy, man. Come on, dude. Like, if you're gonna try to come up with a name, come up with something like more menacing than the Mirror of Darkness. Do you know how many movies and TV shows that they think that's cool, but it actually kind of lame? And then they had they didn't even call it the Orb of Boz. No, they just call it the Orb. Right. That's menacing. And then the blade of the demon sword, I believe it's called. I think it's called the demon sword. Let me double check. It's been a long time since I've seen the anime, and now I'm really want to go watch the anime now. Well, they're called the artifacts of darkness, I should say. Which was actually Yursuke's very first case as the demon, or as a spirit detective. Okay, I always thought it was called the demon sword. It's actually called the Sword of Shadows, or Shadow Sword, which anyone who's stricken with it is actually turned into a demon. But he ends up using it himself and giving him the Tuganai, which sucked. In my opinion, I didn't like it. And then it was really rushed. That's what it feels like, and I don't know why. You know, when Netflix does these adaptations, they feel like they have to rush it. Yu Yu Hakusho, like it's 10 times less episodes. It's 4 seasons if you think about it. 4 seasons of Yu Yu Hakusho, and then the show's done. And if you just want to go do the movies, but it's 4 seasons, guys. You don't need to rush it. And that's, I think that some of the biggest problems right now is that they're rushing. They're like, oh, we gotta get this out. No. I mean, look at all the TV shows that have come out since before since Yu Yu Hakusho, the animated series. We had like Supernatural, which I'm still trying to get through. We had we. I'm not talking about anime, just anime, but shows have to build up. What they should have done is built up the first season of Yu Yu Hakusho instead of condensing it into 5 seasons, 5 episodes. Because in the first 5 episodes, all they did was rush it. Um, did very little build up. Like Yusuke saves the kid. That's something that stays. But they brought the Makai insects, and they didn't even call them the Makai insects. They called it the roundworms. I'm like, wow, that sounds so menacing. Hey, Let's call the demon flies roundworms. Yeah, so menacing. And they totally messed up the arc with Sakaku and Yosuke, Hiei, and Kuwabara and Kurama go into the demon world to fight these guys. They didn't make they totally scrapped that one, so we don't even get that. Um, Yosuke dies because of Makai insect invades a truck driver. When actually in the first episode, it was more like he died because the kid would have um, actually survived. He would just have had a few scrapes. The driver would have worked at the last second. So he died actually for no reason. Um, which brings me to the next person in the character arc, which was Botan. And I always thought Botan, even though they never give you her actual age, I always thought she was like somewhere around 20, 25, because she was always taller than um, Yusuke. But she did put on a school uniform to blend in, so I don't know. Maybe she was 17. I don't know. It just kind of was weird to see Botan, the portrayal of Botan to me, because she wasn't like that girly, although she was kind of funny in the show. I didn't really get the Botan feel to her, and she also got irritated with um, Kawinma because Kawinma would put him on these assignments instead of like easing him in. you know. There was also no detective case, and it was not uh, Kawima training him. It was actually um, Botan kind of teaching him how to do things. Like we even get like the detective watch. Nope, none of that. And also they messed up with Kawinma because I thought it would because we missed out so many cool banter between the two of them, and especially in later seasons of the original Yu Yu Hakusho. Like when Yusuke meets Kawinma for the first time, he laughs hysterically because Kawinma was a toddler. Yeah, it wasn't until like the Dark Tournament that he actually started using his adult form. But I think it would have been cool to have Kawinma as a kid the first time. And they even messed up his tattoo on his forehead. I don't even know what it said. It's supposed to say JR. Even in I think even in the Japanese version it says JR. Um, but as they're going, it's like, oh, we're gonna go see Enma. Who's Enma? And the only Enma I can never think of because I'm thinking how it's spelled is Enmma. Is a sword from Ninja Gaiden. Yeah. So they they got him wrong, that wrong. Like they shouldn't even given him that kind of nickname. And then they called him. He's like, I am King Kawinma. I'm like, no, you're not. You're Prince Kawinma. You're junior. You're not king. There's only one king of the spirit world, and that was King Yama, which we never even get a mention of him because that was the whole point. Like, yeah, the artifacts need to go back because they're bad for the human world, but also if if his dad found out, he'd give him 1,000 spankings, which he did in the show, which is actually kind of funny. Not in the adaptation, the Yu Yu Hakusho show anime. And then we fast forward to, oh, we have to train. So who's better to train him? Oh, we'll send him to Genkai. Genkai got so much, very little screen. Her arc was so rushed, and there was no hardship. Like, yeah, you saw like Kuwabara, and which I could actually acknowledge like Kuwabara actually practicing with those swords versus getting a little bit piece of that little sacred sword to use as a training tool. I could go with that. Although I think they could have easily made his energy orange instead of blue. Um, but it didn't seem like there's not. Genkai was just too nice all the time. It seemed like Genkai was known for being really, really hard on Yusuke, and then she dies way too soon. We go through the training, doesn't, and she gives him the spirit orb right away. And in the anime, like the spirit orb almost kills Yusuke because she had to wait for him to get strong enough to incorporate it into his being, and it wasn't until the dark tournament she did that. So we don't even get that. We don't get the fight with Rando. We don't get the fight the tournament to get trained by Genkai, which Genkai actually trains Kurobara and Yosuke. Um, because right after that, it goes into the dark tournament, I believe. So I think it was if I remember, it has been a while since I watched the anime, so please forgive me if I mess up. I believe it was the first artifacts, and then I'm trying to think if it was the Makai insects second. Then it was training with Genkai, then going to the Dark Tournament, and then the Demon Tournament. And they pretty much in the show they pretty much got rid of the Dark Tournament. They already did it. When actually it was more of them going through to rescue Yukina, which by the way, Yukina did look like Yukina, like what she would look like if she was from the anime. They did a very good job with her. Um, they even showed Genkai, firing off her spirit gun once, which was like it would in the anime it went on and on and on and on and on. She said, "Well, I must be getting rusty because there used to be a time when that would go on for miles." You know. Um, and Genkai really like in the tournament, she said she really didn't care who has her abilities. It was a demon or human, good or evil, as long as her abilities survived. But it was really fun to see Genkai. Although I think Genkai was brought back in the anime once because there was the time when they had to do the whole psychic. Um, all the kids had a certain ability because of Sensui arc. Which, like I said, I don't know where they're gonna go with it from here. Um, because they cut out so much. Like they even got rid of Plu. Um, and in case, your resurrection was just kind of rushed. He's like, oh, yeah, you have to prove it. Oh, forget it. Here, I got more paperwork to do. You know, there's other characters they could have brought in, like the orc, like um, Koima's little helper. They never brought him in. Um, we are never even introduced to the Team Tagoro right off the bat. Like we had Plui, we had his the younger brother we actually get introduced to, but Plui, um, can't remember the other guy. I think it's Kasuna. I think his name is. I might be mistaken. He's the one that makes bombs. Um, and then they brought in Yoko Karama, which Yoko Karama was not even available, or it could even be a couldn't come up forth until in the original anime, Smoke. I don't keep on referring to anime. I mean, it's supposed to be an adaptation, but here's what I'm reason I constantly bring up the anime. If you look at Harry Potter, they the reason why that movie is so good is because the writers paid attention. They literally studied every book. They read it before they even do any writing. I feel like the writers, it's either on the writer's side or the director's side, they cut out so much to rush it out, and it's like they're afraid, like they don't know if it's gonna be good. So like, okay, let's just do 5 episodes and just rush it and see what happens. That's how you kill a show. That's not how you build up a show. Because I gotta tell you, there's a lot of people. Like I went on YouTube and I saw there's a lot of people who didn't like it, and oddly enough, it was a lot of people who said One Piece was better. Um, I had the same crux like, on it. One Piece, I will not watch it again. Like they even got Togoro's name wrong throughout the whole show. Um, they call him Toguro. It's Togoro. There's no two R's in his name. It's Togoro, not Toguro. Also, they killed off um, Sakio, although they got his character spot on, and they got a good actor. The actor they chose for him was actually spot on. Um, I will point out the good stuff. I mean, the show had potential. I'm gonna put it that way. I said it before. It did have potential, but they totally botched it. Like if they ever like, oh, season two's coming, no one's gonna watch it. I'm not gonna watch it. Just like I'm not gonna watch the second season of One Piece if it comes out. I'm not gonna watch it. I'd rather watch the anime. And that's how you know you've messed up. When people are saying that they just rather watch the anime, I'd rather watch the anime. And that's how you know you've messed up. The other thing I gripe at is that we are in 2023, going on to 2024, and we're still having movies where there's bad voiceovers. Like it's like watching a 1960s Japanese martial arts movie throughout the whole show. It was really bad, but it was also what was actually making me laugh a lot. Um, then they couldn't decide whether they wanted to call the demons. They basically had two names for them: yokai demon, yokai demon, yokai demon. When actually it's the same thing. So the whole show you're confusing the audience by calling them yokai demon, yokai realm, demon realm, yokai demon. I'm like, it's the same thing, dude. Do your research. Demons and yokai are basically the same thing. They're just called different things. Um, but they couldn't decide on that. There was other characters in the show that they couldn't get the names right. Um, Now I don't know if it was because of the English voice acting or voiceover or what, but if you can't do an adaptation, man, just don't do them. That's honestly what I'm gonna say to Netflix right now. If you guys share this video and someone at Netflix actually sees this, stop doing them. Because here's the problem I'm seeing with Netflix right now. Um, like you have like shows like Castlevania. You have shows like Onimusha, The Witcher before you guys messed that up. That you guys were doing good, But then when you go and it's like, oh, we're gonna do an adaptation. Oh yeah, let's do this, and it falls flat because you guys are not taking the time to establish the characters and and establish the story. Yu Yu Hakusho. I almost said Yukio. Yu Yu Hakusho established the story, established their characters. It went on for 4 seasons. They actually concluded too at the very end. So how are you guys gonna do this when you guys pretty much already did the the tournament? Like you guys are gonna, you guys do the next season, I guarantee this is how it's gonna go. They're gonna go to do the Demon World. They're gonna do this one, and then that's gonna only gonna have like be 2 episodes, and then they're gonna go to Sensui. Or no, sorry, they're gonna do Sensui, Demon Arc. Sensui would probably get 2 episodes, and then the rest of it's gonna be the Demon Arc, and then it's like the show's done. That's it. You guys have killed the show before you even had a chance to begin. Like, come on. Like, we all want to see anime adaptations, but you guys are rushing it too much. You guys are not giving it enough time on screen to establish characters. But I honestly do not like the idea of when of them making Yusuke a smoker. I don't like it. He was a little bit too moody, in my opinion. Like, if you do the comparison between the two characters of Yusuke and live action Yusuke anime, Yusuke actually in the anime is a little bit more. Yeah, he has his moody days, but he has more emotion to him. It was very important to establish emotion for the characters, not just making him a moody teen. Um, like I don't know what your guys' 17-year-olds was like, but mine, I don't think I was. I don't believe I was that moody. I believed I knew everything, but I think that's normal for teenagers. But another thing, I think the only other thing was Kurama. Actually, Kurama was perfect, almost perfect. But it didn't feel like he ever had that knowledge. Like he was kind of like a know-it-all, but there was reason for it because he was a know-it-all. He was like on all of his classes, he was top class all the time. So he always had that kind of smirk with him, that know-it-all smirk, but it was warranted. Hiei, they got pretty much correct. I mean, Hiei was always kind of moody, but put him away. But um, like if I was picking my favorite character from live adaptation, it would probably have been Kurobara, to be honest with you, because he was actually kind of fun on screen. The actor really brought this character to life. But yeah, they totally. I know I've been talking for like almost 30 minutes on this, guys. I don't know what else to say about it. If you guys are looking for something on Netflix to watch, I would probably go and pick something else. To be honest, I would not bother with Yu Yu Hakusho. Like I watched all 5 seasons, all 5 episodes, and I personally would rather just go watch Supernatural or go watch Castlevania, anything but Yu Yu Hakusho because it's badly rushed. Like they had, if they would have taken the time to establish the first season, even if you just wanted to do 5 episodes for that season, just to kind of see how people reacted to it, that would have been better than what they put out. You know, making the whole arc, first time, like the first time we are introduced to the character, we do the whole undead thing. We get Plu, or his trial, which is actually him going through it, to have to do nothing but good deeds, and he ended up sacrificing the egg to save Keiko in the anime because she was trying to protect his body. The building was on fire at the time because someone was being an arsonist. Which actually was um, I could have done with the whole bullies thing, although I would have left out the Makai insects during the live adaptation, and just like it was a couple kids being jerks or something like that that caused the fire. That would have worked fine. Um, but also them saying that they did a dark tournament also sucks because one, there was no boat tournament, which actually in the anime Yusuke actually felt was sleeping through because all the crap that Genkai had put him through. That's what I'm saying. Is like Genkai. It was like it was a day camp for him. It was like, oh, okay, cool. Oh, here's a spirit orb, which is actually supposed to almost kill you, but it's fine. It's just like a little needle. It's fine. It's just like taking cold medicine. It's fine. No biggie. And that was the big another thing is that everything in the show there was no, oh my gosh moments. It was like, oh, okay. That's where it was. It was like nothing was like painstaking. Like yeah, everyone got beat up to heck, but it's like okay, done. We got battered a little bit, but we're fine. Here we go, done. I don't know, man. I don't know how else I can say about the show other than wow, not in a good way. If I had to give it a rating, it would be three, maybe two. Actually, if I'm going on a scale from 1 to 5, it would probably be a two. To be honest with you, because I'm really hard when it comes to adaptations, especially when it comes to some of my favorite animes. Um, Especially when you have a blueprint right there. They released the manga and they released the anime, which the anime was different than the manga in some way. In a lot of there was things that anime did that the manga didn't do, but they still paid out homage to the manga. Now the live adaptation is like, we'll just do our own thing. We'll pick we'll nitpick, and we'll make it work. Okay, done. And it's very lazy. I'm sorry, it's very lazy. If you're gonna do an adaptation, do it right, or don't do it at all. Like I said, Harry Potter, I make that a perfect reference for a lot of adaptations because it was a perfect adaptation. It made all those books into movies, and the cast was just golden. The story was golden. You could tell there was a lot of love and care. And to me, it seems like why do an adaptation of a show that people love when you're not going to put that kind of care into it? And all you're going to do is just like release a few episodes. Okay, we'll get because I saw it on Facebook. It says, "Oh yeah, we got 7.3 billion views." Yeah, that might be views initially. Look for the views that are consistent. Like people going back and watching it? I'm not. I know that I'm not. Same thing I did with One Piece. I watched it and I'm like, I'm done. Also, like I said, they did Toguro too soon, and basically Toguro, even in the show, goes out of his way to go kill Genkai. It doesn't seem like for any reason other than just to kill her. When actually in reality, like it was in the Dark Tournament that he killed her because they had an unsettled score. And the thing is, like, Tagoro got a wish, his brother got the wish, and then Genkai had one wish. She asked to be left alone. That's it. So I don't know, guys. Still, I would watch it. Netflix, if you guys watch this or hear about this, please do me a favor, guys. Do better. I really want you guys to have a win, um, especially with the years you guys have had so far. I mean, the show had promise, but you guys gotta really tighten it up and stop rushing it. Build up the character, build the story. Everyone, pretty much anyone who's watched this show knows the story, but just because they know the story doesn't mean, hey, guess what? We're just gonna rush it because you guys already know. No. And here's the thing: if people are new people, if a newer generation is watching this, they don't know anything about it. They're not gonna know what's going on, who, what, where. But it did pay. I will say this positively: they did put stuff from the anime and the manga into the anime, into the live adaptation, which you gotta give them props for. But it was done rushed poorly. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much it. I'm giving the game the well, my scale I usually go 1 out of 10. I'd probably give it a 2, maybe a 3 because it made me laugh. But yeah, guys, I'd pass on this one if I was you. But that's pretty much it for the Wookiee's Log. Let me know what you guys thought. Did you guys watch it on Netflix? Did you guys pass it? What's your thoughts on it? What do you think about Netflix doing adaptations? Are you worried about the next anime they choose? Because I'm hearing they're doing Naruto, and if they're gonna do Naruto, man, oh my! If they're gonna do it like they did with One Piece, and because Naruto is much bigger than even One Piece is bigger than Naruto, and Naruto is bigger than Yu Yu Hakusho, but that fan base, in my opinion, is high. Like there's fan bases for Yu Yu Hakusho and One Piece, but Naruto is has a big fan base. It's like almost like Star Wars fan base here. So if they mess this up on Naruto, ooh, I, oof, I don't want to even I don't even want to think about it. Um, What are you guys' thoughts? Do you think they should stop doing adaptations if this is how they're going to do them? Or do you think they're doing a good job and keep it up? I'd like to know your guys' thoughts and comments in the comment section below. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys like, hey, I kind of like what this guy's pumping out. I like his personality. I like his stuff. Go ahead and hit that red button to see more. Hit that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to don't forget to rate the video. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you did not like the video, give it a thumbs down, which is perfectly fine. If you do give me a thumbs down, though, I do hope you guys will give me a comment and let me know why you guys didn't like the video, and that way I can I have the opportunity to improve and correct that issue. Um, Hope you guys are all having a Wookiee-tastic day. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all on our next adventure. Till next time, see you.